Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to an evening with entertainment banter. My name is Joel.
And I'm Matt.
Yes, you are.
Ooh, ooh.
Do you have other people in that room with you?
No, it's just me, myself, and all my fans. Yeah.
I literally see your biggest fan behind you.
Yeah, it has 3 settings. Low, medium, and high.
Oh, you love it when it's high, don't you? when your fans are high.
I do feel cool when it's high.
How long can we keep this pun going?
I don't know. This is as always a great start. All right. So
what? So
Yes.
I think today is a good day to talk about actors, but not just actors, Matt.
Actors. Oh,
I think we should
man.
talk about.
Do we know any actors?
No, but
Oh,
we
we
can
don't
talk
know any.
about how we know their egos.
What? They have egos?
Some of them
Unbelievable.
have
Unbelievable.
egos that
They've worked
that-
very hard for those egos.
There. Some of these egos are probably part of their personalities, or if not, is their personality.
I think it's required by law. After a certain point, you're required to have an ego. After a certain point, as an actor.
As an actor, well, I mean, I think
Yeah.
everybody, no matter what you say, everyone has an ego. But what
That's
does
true.
that ego say about you?
Okay.
Matt, define us an ego real quick, Matt, for the layman's terms out there. For the layman's.
Man. I always considered pompous assholes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm being honest, because like I've had my fair share of acting.
But I mean,
experience as well as actors.
Are you trying to say that anyone with an ego is a pompous asshole, or are you just saying people with really strong egos?
All the ones that I would accuse of having an ego were pompous assholes. You know, does that make sense?
So you're defining
you can
ego.
I'm saying it as a negative term. You
Right.
could be different, but you know what I mean. Your definition
That's
can be
fine.
different. But
I'm
as through my experience in life, if I said that person's got an ego, that means he was a pompous or she was a pompous asshole.
So pretty much you're saying that an ego is something with the personality, like they think they're better than us.
That's pretty much it. Especially when they're
I know
in the same circle of people. Does that make sense?
I know more than you, and you can't breathe my air.
I wouldn't even go that far because you're talking about their personal opinions. I'm saying more simply defined, like if you guys are all in the same show, or you all at some point you played the same role, like it's
Who does
mine
it better?
was better,
Mine
or
was
I
better.
did it better.
Well, then you wouldn't consider like. So I got an example. So my
Okay,
dad
go for it.
was an extra back in the day. You know, back
Yeah. I know.
back when
This
they
is fine.
allowed old men on sets before CGI when they needed old
Yep.
men. You know what I mean?
They did.
And he was an extra in an Eddie Murphy movie. I think it was The Nutty Professor.
Okay.
And there was a scene where Eddie Murphy had to be in front, like an award ceremony or something was happening, like a buffet dinner, like a banquet dinner. There we go. And my dad was one of the guests in the house. I haven't seen the movie in a long time, so I could be wrong what was happening. But anyways, Eddie Murphy straight up said, "None of the extras can look at me for the next hour."
Right.
Is that part of his
Right.
ego? Like, you're not good enough to look at me, kind of thing. My
These
dad.
are-
Since
these
then, my
are,
dad hated him. My dad hated Eddie Murphy since then. He won't go to any of his movies. I think now he's forgot since he's gotten older since then. But
I think it depends on the situation, and that's the hard
Okay.
part. And the actor, see, because my thing. Okay, let me clarify. A working, meaning like literally on the job, working situation versus I'm just a actor with an ego is different. Does that make sense? Like if you're drinking with friends and you're all actors, and someone starts talking like their shit doesn't stink, that to me says you
Okay.
have an ego. But if you're on set and someone's moving a light fixture, or you're trying to get into character, and for whatever reason they're looking at you is stressing you out, and you say, "Hey, I can't focus," but you can't say that because you're a high A-list actor. You can't say I can't focus because you're looking at me.
I know what
You
you're
just
talking
say for the
about.
next hour, nobody looks at me, okay? Because like you're insecure and you don't know how to get your lines down right or something. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Like, so if you're in the physical moment working, I'm more lenient in that aspect. But if you're just an average college student and you guys are all working on shows and you're doing
Okay.
acting on the side in film or television, like your dad was doing with they're all talking at the bar at the end of the day, like, oh, because acting, like I know acting, like your ego, you're an asshole.
Can I tell you, like, I used to do extra work too, just because it was fun
Yeah,
to pay
I
the
know.
bills.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Keep
Calm
going.
down. Anyways,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember this is back before iPhones and even Blackberries. Like literally, I think I had a razor phone, and I was just sitting there reading my book. I read books back then, and I was on set of I think I want to
What is
say
this book? What is
it,
that?
it's spelled BUK, and
I don't think you read enough of them.
I was in CSI New York episode
Yeah.
where we took place in downtown LA. Funny. And I remember sitting there reading my book, and I heard these extras over there, like we're in our hold pen, and
Right,
we're props that eat, you know what I mean? And
Yep.
we're just supposed to sit there and be quiet, don't mess with anything that's going on, just sit in our seats and wait till we're called. So you always hear, it's good to network. I get it that it's good to network, especially when you're around other people who are like interested in
Right.
the same field. Like when you're an extra, you feel like everyone wants to be an actor, right? So
Right.
this one girl was like, "Oh yeah, I'm trying this person. I'm gonna be a famous actor, blah blah." And this guy's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a director." I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, none of you guys are. I'm looking at them.
Yeah.
You guys are middle aged. It can happen at any point. I get it, but it turned out one of them was Michael J. Fox, and I'm just joking. No, these
Yeah.
two were just sitting there talking, and it's just like, shut up. You're not going to be a director. You're being a
Yeah.
fucking extra in this. And shut up. You're not going to be a famous actress. You're an extra. You're not going to get. She's like, I'm going to be discovered out here. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're
Right.
not.
No.
Like, it's
No.
a good positive attitude.
If you
but
have-
just
well,
shut up. I don't want to
it's
hear you
just
dribble.
so-
And it was just
yeah,
that
no.
ego of like, I'm going to get discovered. I'm the best.
Well,
and I have
anybody
so
that's
many
in
examples
the
of
business,
that.
Yeah, I know. It's everywhere. Well, that's the thing that sucks about LA. It's so funny because when I moved out of Burbank and Glendale, every time the wife and I would drive back
Oh,
into it,
man.
for like a sporting event or something fun to do,
Sure.
I'd be like, "Do you hear that? I can hear the dreams crushing." Every time I drove back into that town,
every time
I'm just
I
like, I can hear all the broken hearts right now. I forgot
you wouldn't like
what
hearing
that sounded
me.
like.
If I'm ever driving that way and I see a fire, I'm like, oh look, it's all their hopes and dreams on fire. That's why LA's always on fire, because it's just
Hey,
so
listen.
so many hopes and dreams together.
Yeah, here's the thing, okay? Like, if anybody's just listening that wants to pursue this as a career, you just gotta be grateful for what you do.
Take your
and
lumps.
and take your lumps, man,
And go
Like,
for it.
You're not expect nothing. Expect
Nothing,
absolutely
and that's when
nothing.
things happen. Just
That's right.
Just enjoy what you're doing, and don't try to think like, oh, I'm going to be this. Like, there was a time actually
Right.
when I was in school. Let's go back many decades ago. Okay, a decade and a half.
Yeah.
And
Before
I'm
the
sitting-
COVID.
I'm sitting in. There's nothing before the COVID. It was just COVID and this. So back in the day, I was in my green room because I was a theater degree major, but it was for technical theater, and I was the only technical theater pretty much guy in the green room, and there's a bunch of actors around, and I just remember
Right.
hearing all these people my fellow classmates. I'm doing air quotes. They were talking about how, like, after they've graduated school, they're going to become famous actors and they're going to make all this money and all this crap. And I literally look up from my studies. I'm on my computer. I look up and I go, no, you're not. I'm going to make more money than all you guys because none of you guys are taking any practical skills. They're like, Joe, we don't need that. We're going to be actors. I'm like, yeah? I kind of want to put money on this. I guarantee I'll make more money than all you guys. I'm already working in the field because I was already in the field working.
Right, of course.
And I'm like,
right.
I'm going to make more money than you. Actors, only the 2% make more than the stagehands and the technicians. Only the 2%. You think you're going to be higher than the 2%? And they're like, of course. And I'm like, that is such a strong ego. Hold on to that. Let's go now to 10, 15 years later. One of them works at a shoe store. One of them is a waiter. Another one says they're still an actor, but they've done nothing. And
Right.
what do I work? I don't want to talk about what I work. We all know
No,
I
we don't
work
talk
for-
about it, but we
But
know.
anyways,
But
it's just like you're not.
Or I know.
Your ego is so strong. I kind of want to like go, hey, remember that conversation we had back in, and one of them was my ex-girlfriend. I kind of want to go like, none of you guys are doing anything. You guys all stopped being actors except maybe one or two of you, and they haven't mounted anything.
The problem, I will say this about the shitty thing about being an actor is time is not your friend. You know what I mean? Like, it is not your friend.
Mm-mm.
I mean, unless you're
No.
a character actor, you know what I mean? Like, if you're playing that ridiculous character role, you know what I mean? The funny old guy or the fat person or the skinny person or the whatever, you know what I'm
so
saying?
when
You're
you're
not
not-
going to be
when you're not
playing,
Eddie
you're not going to be
Murphy-
playing the lead
No.
anytime soon. You know what I'm saying?
Did you? It was kind of funny too. I was in an extra in a pilot called Boldly Going Nowhere. It was from the creators of Always Sunny.
Right.
And they were there, and they had me casted to come in to act like it was for a pilot episode that never aired, never made it to air, and we were just, excuse me, and I was like in a prison scene, but it was just funny because listening to the other extras with me, they're just like, I just want to get discovered. I want to be I don't want to be like a real actor. And I was like, this is like a realistic dream. The guy actually was kind of cool. He's just like, I don't want to like to be like a main actor or anything. I just want to become that guy like on Friends. You know, the guy in the coffee shop who was always there as who served him coffee.
Right.
He was an
Right.
extra. He spoke maybe one line or two lines the entire show. But he
Right.
was there every episode. He's like, that's
Yes.
my role. That's what I want. I'm like, that is some good
Sure.
dreams right there.
That's actually a realistic goal to have. To be
And those
honest.
residuals, I'm sure that guy was getting, he's still getting
yeah.
probably today as an extra.
Everybody is. Everybody
yeah,
is.
it's hilarious. But I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
when you were mentioning about like if you're in your zone, you're trying to remember, and like if Eddie Murphy made you be quiet and all that. But I thought you were actually referring to when Christian Bale yelled at the one of the
that's
stage
definitely
hands.
a notorious one. Well,
Right,
I wasn't
right.
there on set for that one, obviously.
I wasn't
but I'm
either.
just- but the thing is, like, I've heard it. I've heard it, and yeah, one side of the coin is like he's way out of line, right? If you just hear
Right.
that, he's yelling at. I think it was the DP though, right?
I
It was the
honestly
DP?
don't think he was out of line. I think he was just over it, and it was a late night. From what I understand, it was the late night. The
Well-
DP's been fucking him the whole night, kept ruining the take, and it was a hard take, and he was just getting.
Yeah.
I heard Christian
Well, no,
Bale was
and my
over
thing
it.
is this: like, as a DP, like, get your stand-ins, get your lighting done. You know what I mean beforehand. You know what I'm saying? And you don't be, especially not during a physical scene. Like, don't be doing it. Don't be moving it in the actual scene. Does that make sense? Like, that should not really be happening.
Like, do you think like what really happened is that like the guy was doing it on purpose to mess with Christian Bale, or like because I heard like he kept changing lights or something, like it just kept happening.
Well, it's possible, but maybe the guy didn't know what the hell he was doing. I mean, he's
Maybe.
supposed to be a renowned DP, so I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
You're not there.
Maybe,
You're not,
maybe actors are not easy to work with. And
No,
Christian
some of them
Bale
aren't.
is one of those actors that's been known to be difficult even before this. So
really.
if he's being an asshole, sometimes your best revenge is being an asshole back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying it's right, but who knows? I wasn't on set.
You
I
can
can't tell
become
you.
you can become best friends with them for all you know. Like, oh,
I
that guy
think
spoke back.
I think realistically, just based on that situation, like both were in the wrong. He could have
Yeah.
handled it. He could have handled it better by saying, "You know what? I'm walking away from this set until you guys finally get this lighting situation figured out. I'm stop wasting my time." And then that DP should not have been moving that. He should have said to the director or anybody else, like, "I just need 5 minutes to get this right. Don't get
Right.
Christian out here. Let me just get some stand in real quick. Let me get this fixed and finalized one final time, and that's it." You know what I mean? Problem
fair.
solved on both ends. You know what I mean? But I think it's interesting because the reason why we originally thought about this subject matter wasn't to start trash talking the people we may or may not have worked with, but it's more about we were talking about the Mandalorian.
Oh, right. That's what sparked
It's
this
Pedro,
interest.
right? Pedro's the guy that plays Mandalorian.
Fact
Pascal
check
or
this.
whatever his name is.
We
I
need a
can't
fact
remember.
checker. If you're
Yeah.
looking for a job that doesn't pay, let us know.
It's because we're cheap, not because we can't do it.
Matt
So
just
here's the
speaks
thing.
facts. That's all he does.
That's all I do. I think it's Pedro Pascal for whatever his name is. But anyways, all right. So here's the thing. Before Disney decided to just flush their entire legacy down the toilet, before COVID, and then COVID just sealed the deal and made sure the toilet backed up.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. But go on.
Basically, if you're an actor, right, they say, "Hey, you want to work for Disney? Better yet, you want to work for Lucasfilm? Better yet, do you want to play a Mandalorian?" The answer is like, "Hell yeah, I do."
Pedro
Right?
Pascal.
So, yeah, that's what I said, Pedro Pascal.
I'm just okay. Yeah.
No, I know. Thank you for looking it up.
No
You're
problem.
not getting paid for that. So then you get to
There was no pay in the job in the first place.
but you got to wear a helmet, right? You got to wear a helmet, and the mystery. Let's just say the mystery of the character. We know your face can be seen, but for the mystery of the audience, to keep the audience wanting more, we're not going to reveal your face for the whole series. Maybe we'll show it once.
I
when you
enjoyed
think
that
you're dying,
actually. Yeah.
right?
The tease.
That's
of
the
it.
deal. That's the contract.
Right.
So then what happens? Blah blah blah. Everybody knows that's been. We don't cover the day-to-day minutes anymore of the bullshit entertainment world because it's kind of become a joke to us. We're getting back to our basics where we just talk about entertainment as a whole, because we're in it. We know it. It's over and done with. We don't care.
But we like our topics.
We realize they're stupid. We just realize the entertainment world needs to get its head out of its ass.
We would never talk about what we want to talk about if we just talked about the news on it. There'd be no time.
Yeah. And I don't care about the late breaking stuff anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody wants to be first about, oh, look what we found out. And then they report it off their YouTube videos.
We'll bring it up. We'll bring it up. We'll bring it up.
We'll bring it up. We're only bringing it up because we were on to talk about the ego thing. So here's my thing. Right. You could take any person that's a Star Wars fan. Let's say they went through all the acting skills, the schools that they needed to learn. They're the best of the best. But they never get the opportunity, right? Because they're not a minority or there's something else. Take your pick, right? They don't get the opportunity. But if they did,
they're in the wrong place,
right? If I got the opportunity, if I lost about 50 pounds,
no, they like you as you are. Jabba the Hutt needs to be able to.
You know, Jabba the Hutt in a Mandalorian suit, like the rolls are sticking out a little bit on the sides of the Mandalorian armor. I actually don't look that fat, but I've gotten since the kids. I've definitely put on 10 more pounds I didn't want. But anyways, the guy.
I don't have any jokes to that.
Yeah, I know because it's true and it's sad.
Go on.
You know what I mean? You're getting paid a lot of money. You're the most popular character in the streaming world right now.
Well, we don't know. Like, I think streaming pays less, but you're getting paid a lot of money.
No. I mean, when I say popular, I mean like the world is watching The Mandalorian. Like, people were chomping at the bit to watch Mandalorian.
Well, because it's the Baby Yoda. Who cares about him? But go on.
Well, no, I actually enjoyed his performance.
No, I did too, until they showed his face, and I was not pleased.
No,
but
I mean, you know, it's like when you watch Beauty and the Beast, the animated one, you're like, oh, God, go back to the Beast. It's hideous.
Oh my God, hilarious! That's so funny. Stockholm syndrome. Go on.
But anyways, so the story is, long story short, it doesn't matter. It goes back to the whole thing. Like every actor wants more face time, right? I'm not being seen enough, right?
Right.
Robert Downey
Jr.
Have
power.
Robert Downey Jr. He plays Iron Man, but we see more of Robert than we do of Iron Man, right? It's like.
He was rarely in the suit for Iron Man 3. You got a point.
Same thing with Cap, right? You know, Cap, he's in his full Captain America suit, but he's not wearing the headdress half
the time. He stopped wearing it by, what, Captain America 3, kind of, sort of?
You know what I'm saying?
By 3, yeah,
actors want to be seen, right? Because the next role is coming down the pike.
Because you assume
they've landed the roles of the century and set for life. They just want to be seen.
But you assume that, like, their thing is that if you see Iron Man in the suit and the helmet's down, it's not really Robert Downey Jr. in that suit. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's most likely the stunt man.
No, ironically, that's actually pretty accurate now because that's what's happening with Mandalorian. You know, so you know he's not. He made his gripe, his concern, and now he's not in the suit. You know, he's just going to be a voice actor. He's nothing more than a cartoon character at this point, where he's doing voice acting. You know, occasionally. Because they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna have him take his mask off too much. You know, if there's a scene or two where he needs to, fine.
That's a pay cut.
Look at Anthony Daniels. He's a perfect
pay cut.
Anthony Daniels he's like the best of the best. You know what I mean? He was C-3PO. You never see C-3PO.
What about
actor.
Boba Fett?
You know what I'm saying? Huh?
What about
Jeremy Bullock?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they screwed him royally because they got that other guy to play the clones. So everyone thinks that's what he looks like. Right. But I've met these individuals and talked to them on a normal playing field, and they're the nicest people you would ever meet. Honest to God, they are. And but you know, you never hear them gripe about or complain. But you know what's different? What? Everybody knows who they are. Everybody, if you see Anthony Daniels, they know who he is. If you see Jeremy Bullock, everybody knows who he is. I think that's how it would have been for Pascal. I think if he had just laid low and kept doing these, I think people would he'd be the next one where people would have been like, huh? I thought his voice acting was fine.
I thought it was great, and I don't understand why he had to be
choices.
His ego just got in the way. There you go. Back to the topic.
Well, that's what it goes back to. So
just totally got in the way, and he just needed to chill the fuck out.
Well, let's go back to the beginning of this conversation because I know we're running short on time.
By the way, everyone's replaceable no matter who the fuck you are.
That's the point. It doesn't matter how high up the chain you are. It doesn't matter how much money you're making, how big your role is, how you think the studio needs you. No, everybody is replaceable. Like, that's the thing. Like, all these people that you were talking about earlier where they're like waiters and shoe clerks or whatever the fuck they are. Like, they're saying they're going to be big actors someday, right? They're going to be big dogs. So I'm talking to those people right now.
Talking to them right now.
If somehow you get out of your job of putting shoes on stinky feet
Yeah.
and become the next Mandalorian, do yourself a favor, shut the fuck up and be grateful for the job that you have, and don't say a word. You know what I'm saying? Just do the gig that you agreed to do. That's it. Just do it, because you can be putting those stinky shoes right back on those people's feet.
What about, it's just like the same thing with Rhodey from Iron Man 1. What's his name? Torrance.
Right.
And he got replaced by Don Cheadle by Iron Man 2.
Right. Well, that's a tougher subject, because I'm not going to, argue the man's case very well, because he's not exactly the best person on the planet.
He went to Entourage and made a lot of money.
He did. See, it worked out for him. But here's the thing. Back then, I will defend him only because that was literally the birth of the MCU. And, everybody on that train was starting to roll high all of a sudden.
Right.
And if you didn't fight for it then, you would never have gotten it. You know what I mean? Like, you'd have to try.
Do you think they paid Cheadle more?
I think no, they didn't. I think he was a smart actor, and I think he said, you know what, I'd rather just get the residuals for the rest of my life with the next 20 films I'll be making.
Because they're going to fucking make a War Machine movie. They're going to.
Right, or anything. You know what I'm saying? My point is, if you land a decent national commercial, you're making anywhere from $25,000 to $250,000, right? The average person works a whole year for that,
Right.
And so, and that's like one day of work, you know what I mean? And you're an actor, like you're eating a fucking cheeseburger for Carl's Jr., and you're done.
Oh, like Paris Hilton on that bowl? Mm-hmm.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, and
yeah, baby.
So Don Shields, when he's like, oh, wait, I won't get paid as much as, Robert. Okay, fine. Who gives a crap? I'll be in how many movies? 18? Okay. I'm doing the math, residuals, sales for life.
And it's 3 movies a year, and you're paying me $1 million per movie.
And I'm seen nonstop. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's a smart move.
Right. Think about it. Like, even I know people that are just extras in the show or stunt performers, and they're living out the residuals, and they're that much.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just a no-brainer, and you're playing a beloved character too. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of the. Then what's his face? Edward Norton. Like, he likes to be a certain way. His performances.
Yeah, and he wanted to be. He was the Hulk in the.
Right, right, and so he backed out, and you know what? That's an ego thing, but to me, that's a different ego thing. That's his principles.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't asking for more money.
No,
I don't think.
It was very.
He just
polite.
wanted to do it his way, and they said, "Sorry, we have a plan, and you can't do that."
He turned it down politely, and it was a less of a drama than when Torrance turned it down for Cheadle when they went to Cheadle.
Right. Well, because it looks cheap when you're fighting for money, and then
right.
you could always play the race card like they were trying to lowball him, which is possible. You could say all kinds of things. Women thing too, like women get paid less. So I'm not going to argue or dispute those things.
We don't know what they're being offered. We don't know.
We don't know officially, but it was less than what other people were being offered.
Well, we know Robert Downey Jr. was offered the most across the board, and it was
his salary too that probably trickled the effect. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
other people got paid less as a result of that.
Well, Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth also got pretty close to it. Robert Downey Jr. That was the whole point of getting rid of them at the end of Endgame. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Well, but at the same time, those guys rode that train for a long time. That's a lot of money.
Why wouldn't you?
Disney's like $44 billion or something in the hole, something ridiculous like that.
RDJ took the percentage of merchandise, so he's never going to be hurting for money.
No, he's set for life, man.
Yeah.
He's set for life,
and his kids are too, and yada yada.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, basically, the ego thing for actors. I mean, it's. I mean, you'll never get rid of it. Like, there's just some people out there that
you're not, and
their shit doesn't stink.
It's gonna be part of the business always, because it's in all parts of the business, even like in the tech and all that. Wise.
Well, and people will argue
even right
too,
here,
like,
Matt thinks he's a better editor than me. But anyways,
I am the better editor.
Damn, that ego. But give me some final thoughts.
It's an earned ego.
Give me some final thoughts, Matt. Give me some final thoughts.
Man, final thoughts. So, I mean, some would argue that having that ego is as a fake form of confidence that might sell you enough to get you where you need to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're douchey enough, people will actually be intimidated by you, or
you can
enough
mislabel
that
ego
you
as
could
confidence.
Sell it.
You can.
You could sell it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
But I can tell you, just at the end of the day, it's just rule number one, man. Do unto others as you would do unto yourself. It's just simple. You know what I mean? And then in the entertainment industry, actors hate working with actors all the time. But the technicians and everything else, like they're the ones that are in the muck all the time. And I'm telling you, the average entertainment person is pretty, I would say, down to earth. You know what I mean? In all honesty, there's like I said, a few whack jobs here and there. Some people with a lot of ego, but from my personal experience, maybe you can add to this. The
Sure.
people that I've come across with egos, they don't last very long. They may be on top at once in a great while, like a show here or a film there, but overall, usually once that ego hits during that experience, they're not working again. And if they are, it's not as the high caliber that they were from the time before.
I can't speak for actors, but
I'm saying based on your personal experience with them, meaning like you watched them and followed them, worked with them.
My personal experience is that if large egos appear, their art does suffer. Absolutely. Like, look, how many things have Eddie Murphy really been doing lately? What has he been in? Maybe he doesn't want to be in things. Maybe he does or doesn't. But his ego has absolutely affected him. But at the same time, even on the degree of us, like what I'm witnessing is that I'm always trying to further more venues in my career, right?
Yeah.
But I meet a lot of people with egos on the way, and I notice that the people with the strongest egos are just complacent and upset. Like they're happy where they are, I guess, in life, because they're not going to go anywhere. They don't think they can go anywhere because they're so comfortable. But their ego becomes stronger and bigger because they think, well, I've been in this spot for so long. I know more than you.
Big fish in a small pond.
Right. That's what it is. And then they just feel like they can't. If they go somewhere else, then they can't. Because I've heard so many people even like working with us are like, oh, I'm not going to do that because I stay here where I know better. It's like, that's what they're pretty much saying. Like, if I go into a different pond, maybe I'm not going to be the big dog anymore. Here, I feel comfortable and I'm.
Oh, it's probably a guarantee.
Right.
It's probably a guarantee.
No, absolutely. And I like swimming in every pond. I'm like a salmon. I'll swim up that stream. I'll swim down that stream.
Right, and that
salt
goes back
water,
to what we
fresh
said
water,
at the beginning.
whatever the fuck it is. I'll check it out.
It goes back, just be grateful for what you get.
Yeah,
and
man.
Just keep working.
And just, be friends. You can have an ego. Like, I feel like I have a strong ego sometimes, but I've worked on it to where it's not as overpowering. Like, you got to have confidence and pride in what you do. And some people can misconstrue that as like, oh, he's egotistical. It's like,
but I think
it
depends on how you treat those around you, though. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If you
I think that's
down
where it
to
is.
them, I think
Absolutely.
that's where the ego.
Everyone
becomes a
deserves
problem.
to be talked down to.
Everyone does deserve it. Well, on that note, thank you for listening to Entertainment Banter. My name is Matt.
I love it. And my name is Joel. And I'm done.